1MDB has sparked embezzlement and money laundering investigations across
one of the
at least
biggest
10
corruption
countries.
scandals the world has ever seen.
What may be the biggest financial scam in history.
A number of corrupt 1MDB officials treated this public trust as a personal bank account.
Follow us as we bring you into the courtroom where the biggest financial scandal in Malaysian history is being heard. It's Monday evening, 17th May 2021, and you're listening to the latest update from today's 1MDB Tanor trial by the Malaysian Insight. I'm Patrick Teo. Former 1MDB Chief Executive Officer Mohd Hazem Abdul Rahman today said he had suspected the former Prime Minister Najib Razak of being involved in criminal activity at the material time. Ex-Prime Minister Najib, 67, is currently on trial for 4 charges of abuse of power and 21 charges of money laundering involving 2.28 billion ringgit in public funds. The CEO said this after being pressured by the defense lawyer during cross-examination in regards to the CEO's inaction to report to Najib after having felt something was wrong in the company's dealings. The 1MDB Tanor trials resumed today after a 3-month break and disruptions. The former 1MDB Chief Executive Officer Mohd Hazem Abdul Rahman, aged 47, the 10th prosecution witness, was back in the position on the witness stand. And defense lawyer Wan Aizuddin Wan Muhammad began his cross-examination from where he had left off. 3 months ago, the lawyer was going through the details of a joint venture between 1MDB with ABA. The JV was discovered and made known as a sham and had never taken place. This morning, Wan Aizuddin moved on to the arranger agreement between 1MDB with ABA, highlighting that the terms of the agreement were not met. The court heard then that Hazem had signed documents of the joint venture without understanding the details of the document. Because of that, he had no knowledge of the arranger agreement when it was signed. In the later part of the cross-examination, Hazem also said he had signed several other 1MDB documents without a full view of the content except for the signing pages. Hazem said that former 1MDB General Counsel Jasmine Lu Ai Swan, an associate of fugitive businessman Low Teck Joe, aka Joe Low, had only shown him the signing pages of the documents. Lawyer Wan Aizuddin then suggested to Hazem if Lu had done so to hide important matters from Hazem. Hazem said he did not know. The lawyer also asked Hazem what was the nature of the plan by Joe Low and if it was tainted with criminal intent. Hazem said at that time he just wondered where the money went after it came in and felt it wasn't a business plan. Hazem went on to say that Joe Low was purportedly instructed by Najib. Wan Aizuddin questioned if Hazem was willfully blind because Hazem didn't raise the issue to Najib directly. Hazem responded that even if he chose not to sign the documents, it would not have made any difference because someone would have replaced him in signing them. Hazem said he was in a situation of signing the documents or resigning from his position. Wan Aizuddin said, "You agree that you would still be held accountable?" Hazem replied, "Yes." Wan Aizuddin said, "Under the law, yes?" Hazem replied again, "Yes." Wan Aizuddin said, "And you were negligent?" Hazem replied, "On the basis of my signature, yes." Hazem also said in court today that he had harboured the suspicion that Joe Low was up to something. Wan Aizuddin said, "Wouldn't it be worse having known something was wrong but not approaching Najib that Joe Low might have a hidden agenda?" Hazem replied to the lawyer that he thought it was enough to have highlighted his concern to then-chairman of 1MDB, Lodin Wok Kamarudin, and the board of 1MDB. Wan Aizuddin then asked Hazem if Hazem thinks that Najib is involved with the 1MDB activities, such as giving instructions in the 1MDB fundraising for the joint venture. Hazem replied, yes. The lawyer responded, "That is a heavy accusation to say that the PM was involved." The lawyer later put it to Hazem that he did not approach Najib about the suspicion of Jho Low's criminal intent because Hazem was playing along with Jho Low's plan. Thus, Hazem didn't find any necessity. Hazem disagreed. One Izzuddin put to Hazem again, "This inaction of yours can be inferred with this reason, and one reason only. You were abetting Jho Low on this activity." Hazem disagreed. "The reason for your lack of supervision is because you're on it," one Izzuddin said. Hazem replied, "No." "You were not looking at the best interest of 1MDB, the lawyer said. Hazem replied, "Like I said, I was under the assumption that this was run and planned under the PM." One Izzuddin said, "And you know something illegal was happening and you didn't do anything." Hazem said, "Yes." One Izzuddin said, "Isn't that a breach of fiduciary duty?" Hazem replied, "Technically, yes." Hazem said the people in 1MDB were aware that Hazem was a puppet of Jho Low. Hazem also didn't let go of saying this point. The company was being managed and run by the most powerful person in Malaysia. I would not dare to even ask. You either work with it or go. Before the court officially adjourned at about 3:30 p.m., Najib's lead lawyer, Muhammad Shafi Abdullah, requested for tomorrow's session to be postponed. Najib is currently appealing against his conviction and prison sentence after being found guilty on 7 charges of criminal breach of trust, money laundering, and abuse of position involving 42 million ringgit of SRC International's funds. Tomorrow is the final appeal hearing day at the Court of Appeal in Putrajaya. Shafi then added another request for Najib to attend another criminal case trial at the Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court on Wednesday. Najib is testifying as a prosecution witness in the false document case against former Sabah Infrastructure Development Minister Peter Anthony. Judge Colin Lawrence Sekera said this 1MDB Tanol trial cannot have another delay. However, he permitted Najib to attend the other case before coming back to continue on his trial. Colin said, "This trial has to take priority. It has made way for too many trials already." Najib and his lawyers had last month spent 14 days for his SRC appeal. And earlier this month, this trial was again postponed because a key member of the defense team came into close contact with COVID-19 positive cases. The 1MDB Tanol trials will continue on Wednesday, 19th May at the Kuala Lumpur High Court. Thank you for listening. This podcast was brought to you by the Malaysian Insight. It was written by Haley Chung Wee Kee and I'm Patrick Teo.